It's coming home, everyone. It's coming home. The Euro 2020 final, England v the Netherlands. Let's do this. So yes, we're back, everyone. I hope you're keeping well. Today we have the final episode of our England at Euro 2020 Let's Play. As I've already mentioned, we're taking on Holland. We're taking on the Netherlands. They've got a good little team, it would be fair to say, and they are going to be tough opposition. But armed with my notepad, I've got it here ready, and also a little bit of studying away. I think I've got a plan to beat them, but it is using a system I've never used before in Football Manager. Now, before I talk about the system that we're going to be playing, I think it's worth talking about the Dutch, our opposition for today's game. What are they doing and how do we plan to counter it? In terms of their performance so far this tournament, they have been very, very good. They have played a 5-2-1-2 throughout, at least to start games. There's been a couple of occasions where they switched to a 5-2-2-1. That sounds like a weird formation when I say it aloud. So just to prove that is the system that they're using, I'm just going to show you the analyst report. It doesn't sound like a real formation. It absolutely is. They are going to play this to kill off games, and if they're chasing a game, I expect them to switch to this. The same system that Belgium played against us. The 5-2-3 wide. I guess the constant here is they like to play with three centre-backs, and I think when you look at their team, it kind of makes sense why they would like to play with three centre-backs. They've got players like De Ligt who can play centre-back. They've got De Vrij who can play centre-back. Heck, they've got Van Dijk who can play centre-back. They've got very good centre-backs. And I imagine that is going to be what a lot of their performances are built off. If we just look at things here, you can see they don't concede too many goals. And at least in the last two knockout games, they have not conceded. So they are going to be a tough little nut to crack today. So we've got to crack that nut. Additionally, they like to score a fair few, and when I looked at their goal scorers, they've got pace but no real physical presence. Players like Depay, players like Bodou, Marlon as well, I think is their top goal scorer in the competition. In fact, I've told a lie. He isn't. He's got 3. He has played slightly more games than Bodou, but I think you can see the kind of mould of striker they've got here. There isn't much physical presence in the air, but they are rapid, and if we look at the kind of goals they're scoring, you can kind of see how they approach this game. They want to catch teams out on the break. They have not scored from outside the area. 11 placed shots, 1 powerful shot, and 1 header. They're 13 goals scored thus far in this competition. And in terms of assists, a lot of them are balls squared across the box, hence the fact they've got 5 crosses, although, as we've seen, they've only scored 1 header, and additionally, 4 through balls. Yes, this is a team who just like to lump the ball forward to their strikers to run onto, and I think the kind of 2 main areas to focus on here are how can we deal with their attackers? How can we find a way through their defence? Now, before I answer that latter question, it's probably worth looking at how they've conceded goals. To be honest, they don't really concede any. They've had 2 shots from range, 1 from just inside the 18-yard box and 1 that was from a very, very tight angle. No headers scored. That doesn't surprise me with the 3 centre-backs that they've got. And in terms of where the assists have come from, maybe slightly weak down their left-hand side, although with their squad, lots of depth, lots of rotation, it's difficult to know who's going to play where. So rather than fall into the same trap I fell into last time when we took on Spain, today I'm planning for the system more so than the players. So in terms of our system and how we're going to line up, as I said earlier, I'm trying something that I don't know if it works. I've never tried it before, but I think it's a really good way to potentially get through this team. So there's no point in trying to win the ball in the air, although I am going to start Harry Kane. There's no point in lumping the ball forward. Really, I think our best bet is to overload them in the wide areas. Hence the fact we've got wing-backs and also wingers with a slightly weird-looking midfield. Let's talk about the defenders first, because there is a bit of a weird selection here. I am going with Tomori at left centre-back and with Walker at right centre-back. You might think to yourself, well, neither of those are players I thought would be starting together at any point in this competition. I'll be honest, neither did I, but having looked at the Dutch striking options, I genuinely feel like our best bet here is to play these 2 lads and try and just deal with the pace that they have up front. Fight fire with fire. Of course, when it comes to the wing-backs, because they're playing with a 5-at-the-back system, they don't have wide attacking midfielders of any kind, and I really want to try and overload their wing-backs. And the reason I want to overload them is simple. They are not like the wing-backs that we've played previously in this kind of system. They stay forward with the ball, but also without the ball. When they don't have the ball, these wing-backs, they don't drop back to be part of a back 5. They want to defend from the front. They want to press forward. They want to apply pressure higher up the field. And with that in mind, my game plan today really revolves around overloading them in the wide areas and or trying to attack them with pace and get the ball in behind. Now, to do that, we, of course, as I've already mentioned, we're going to sit with two fairly fast centre-backs. Our line of engagement is going to be super low today. I want to bring their back three forward. I think our best bet against their defence is to catch them out with pace, do exactly what they've done to other teams. So I'm happy to let them play out from the back. As soon as they hit kind of our, I guess, the edge of the D just inside their half, that's when we're going to press. That's when we're going to look to force in a tackle. I want to kind of create as much space behind them as I can. And we are going to be forcing them out wide simply because, as we've seen from their striking options, they don't have aerial presence. They don't have players with great aerial ability, at least players who have started in their squad. I think De Jong, I meant Janssen, he's the one different striker for them. He doesn't really play, though. In fact, he's yet to play this tournament. I would be gobsmacked if he started. So with that in mind, I'm not worrying about aerial ability. I want to play with pace. We've got two wingers and two centre-mids set up a bit funkily. My concern is that with the system they normally play, they play with Wijnaldum at centre attacking mid, and he really pulls the strings for Depay and Marlon in front of him. They're the two players who I think are most likely to start against us today. So I do feel like having just someone who can really sit in front of our defence, hopefully mark Wijnaldum out the game, hopefully just stop him feeding the players further up is essential. I'm giving Jordan Henderson the nod to do that because I am going to need him to offer something going forward occasionally. With their system, they play with two centre mids. My plan to deal with this is basically to have Sancho and Sterling as wingers who are set to roam from position because there is going to be space in these wide areas to roam into. As you can see here, I've got them set to man mark the left centre mid and right centre mid respectively. I don't know how this is going to work in the match engine. I might look at it after 20 minutes and abandon it completely. But between the fact that we are forcing opponents out wide, so we're staying nice and compact defensively, and also when we're in possession, we're going to play as narrow as we can, I'm hoping that the wingers are going to sit really, really close in. We're going to be able to crowd out the midfield, win that midfield battle where they only have two players. And then when we do get the ball, they're going to drift into their natural winger positions in the wider areas. And that's going to help us then create the overloads with the wing-backs, who I am kind of not affording too much defensive responsibility to today because, as I've said, they tend to, for the most part, really focus things down the middle with their two strikers. In terms of striking options, we've got Rashford and Kane today, two players who have got 10 goals between them so far in this kind of international stint. Kane is going to play as an advance forward, and Rashford is going to play on the left-hand side, and he's going to be marking a specific player, and that player is De Ligt. And the reason for targeting De Ligt is that he is the defender in their team at right centre-back, who has perhaps struggled slightly more than the other defenders across this competition. And whilst I don't necessarily see him as a weakness, I do feel like having Marcus Rashford go up against him could help us force some errors, could help us, catch him out, get in behind. And as a pressing forward, Rashford is going to have to do a lot of running today. I guess the only player I've not really talked about in this team is Phil Foden. He's going to be set to roam from position. I'm hoping because he starts in the middle, there will be times where the wingers aren't as central that he can help out defensively. But equally, I really want him to kind of come into this team and pull strings in front of their three defenders. My hope is that out of possession, this essentially turns into a bit of a 4-1-2-1-2 diamond. But then when we do get the ball, that's when we look to stretch the play wide. That's the theory behind it. And as I said, this time around, rather than kind of plan around players, I focus my pre-match preparation a lot more on targeting the system and how we can possibly beat it. So anyway, let's get into this team. Let's submit this squad. Hopefully they're going to be a team that are slightly more predictable than our previous opposition. And, they're not playing Van Dijk at all. Holland? Holland? They've left Van Dijk and Frankie de Jong out completely. I can only assume that is because of their fitness levels. I mean, they've played pretty much every game this tournament. I mean, that works out in our favour if those two star men aren't even in the squad. Looks like Gravenberch, Wijnaldum and Van der Beek is going to be their three-man midfield. They're not very good from a defensive point of view. They have some good defensive midfielders on the bench, but it's a really attacking bunch of midfielders, and I'm hoping that Foden, as I already said, is going to absolutely muller them in the middle today. Right, boys, I've got faith in you. This is a cup final. I need a top performance today. It is Holland v England. It is Euro 2020. Finally, a year late. I want to win it. I'm taking a gamble. We'll see how this works. As I said, defensively, I want it to be kind of a 4-1-2-1-2. However, offensively, I expect to see us play slightly wider. We'll keep a close eye on how the wingers function. If it's just a case of it doesn't work as I want it to in terms of the mark in the centre mids and we're getting overrun in the middle, that is something we can look to remedy. It's also worth noting that going into this game, I've set crossing to low crosses. Tomori getting a booking inside the first 20 seconds would be a problem. Do not get booked. He's getting booked. That is not the start I needed, Football Manager. But yes, low crossing is on. I don't think there's any point in trying to float the ball up into the air. I didn't actually look at who they brought in for Van Dijk, but De Ligt is in the team, and he is on the side that Rashford's going to be pressing, which is good news for us. Tomori, Foden. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit weird. I'm hoping that in possession it's going to be almost like a 4-4-2, really, with the two centre mids kind of intelligently between them, Henderson and Foden, knowing that they need to split and kind of go to one side each. Equally going forward, though, I'm looking for these overlaps. I'm looking to cause them issues and hopefully stretch them wider. Ball pulled back to Kane here. Plays it back to Foden. He's got that free roll and he has a shot from range. It's going to be blocked. I want to have a quick look at how they're lining up here. So they are playing the system that I expected them to play. They've got Marlon and Depay playing together. Van de Beek in behind. So they've got Botman playing for them on the right-hand side. Okay, that's interesting. So he's come in for Van Dijk. Hateboer and Windal have come in at the fullback positions. I mean, they're not weak wing backs, but I just think in terms of how this system works, we can target some bits here. I am going to quickly add some instructions, I think, though. So in terms of the instructions I'm going to add here, I think I'm going to add on Donny van der Beek, just mark tight always. I'm hoping that's going to be Henderson's job to do. I think when it comes to the wing backs, we should probably look to press them. Thing is, I want to press them. But I think if I set pressing on always, it's going to drag the wingers that we've set to mark the centre mids out of position. Theoretically, they're going to tuck in nice and narrow when we don't have the ball. And then when we do get the ball, as I've said, they're going to run wide. Obviously, theory is great. Will it actually happen on the pitch? That is a kind of completely different question, I suppose. So you can see here, Sterling kind of is sitting fairly narrow, as is Sancho. So they are doing what I want them to do, but just not actually standing on the men, which I suppose is a minor oversight, but it's going to be fine. Gravenberch here, though, to Wijnaldum, causing us some issues here. They've got it ball through to Memphis Depay. It's going to be offside. That's a warning. I mean, we knew going into this game what their game plan was going to be. They have pacey forwards. They get it in behind. I assume the linesman is correct to raise his flag here. I mean, they're still celebrating. They don't know. They do not know. They lack the critical information. I mean, you can see how compact the midfield is here. I mean, Sterling is definitely sitting inside narrowly. So I think the instructions are working as I wanted them to. As I said, this is not kind of an approach I've ever taken in FM before. So I had no idea if it was going to work, but maybe a weird game to experiment to such a degree, but I feel like it's really fun to just try stuff completely different in FM. As Sancho threads through Kane, De Vrij with a huge tackle that does dispossess us, and that can't be the highlight, can it? I mean, it was a good opportunity for us. Memphis bringing it forward, back to Wijnaldum. He plays it forward. Luke Shaw wins the header, though. So you might have noticed Shaw is in the team over Chilwell. There were a few little bits of selection, like Trent at right back, which just came down to fitness. I feel like the difference between some of our players is fairly negligible. So it was kind of a case of just picking the players who were fit for the game as, well, that was some weird goalkeeping going on there. I thought that was a nothing highlight, but we almost scored from it. Half an hour gone. Time to get shouty. I've been nice to them. Wijnaldum's now picked up a booking. They have not created a great deal just yet. Unfortunately, you can kind of say the same to us. And unfortunately, Marlon is on the attack. Donny van der Beek has an effort. There's Walker on him there, but, well, huge save actually by Henderson. And I don't want to jinx him now that we're in the final. Henderson's been very good for us in goal. He's doing it again there. He's been very solid and very dependable. So we're almost approaching half-time here. There's 7 minutes left of the half. There has been, I think, 5 shots between the two teams. 1 shot on target for each. Unfortunately, it is another highlight for them right now. So we do need to be wary. Gravenberch with it. So you can see there, Foden was the man doing the marking. And Shaw picks it up nicely. Kane to Rashford. This is the pace. This is what we want to do. He needs to finish it. He doesn't finish it. He kicks it straight at the goalkeeper. I'm livid. I'm not buying your book, Marcus Rashford. You've let me down. Oh, yeah. Short corners. Snuck that on for the final. Surprise. Yeah, that's right. I don't tell you guys everything I've done. I mean, if we score from a short corner, I'm going to look like a genius. If we now concede from it, I look like a fool. But yes, short corners are on. Short corners are actually pretty good this year in FM. It'd be lovely to score one. As I said, don't trust all their heading ability. Sterling, oh, he has to score that. With all their heading ability, I figured a short corner routine was probably a smart move for this game. Unfortunately, it doesn't do anything. And at half-time, it's 0-0. I mean, what I will say is, they've not done a lot. They've had 2 shots, only one of them on target. So from that perspective, we're shutting them down pretty well, it would seem. I suppose the questions become, is there more that we can do? Is there more that I want to do going into this half, I suppose, as well? So at half-time, I thought I'd just have a little look at the heat map and some of the stats we can see here. I mean, statistically, as I said, we've been in pretty good control of this game. They're completing more passes, but that's kind of just par for the course. We have had more of the ball. In terms of their average shape, they're playing very, very predictably. You know, they've got number 8 sitting on the shoulder at all times, looking to break through, that number 8 being Depay. As for us, you can see how the team is lining up here. You can just see how narrow, just in terms of average position, the wingers are playing for us today. They are tucking in very nicely. Foden, to be honest, is playing a little more defensively than I would like at number 16 there. So I think to start the second half, I'm going to change his role to be a advanced playmaker on attack rather than defend. And I'm also going to take off roam from position. I want to see him get a little further forward here. Try and pull the strings a little more as we go into this second half. You know what? We'll keep the heat map up at all times just so we can keep an eye on things. Got to, of course, keep a close eye on if they change anything system-wise going into this second half. As I'm trying to close the tablet. There we go. Okay, Jack. I don't normally open all the tablets and stuff. It's a goal kick. Imagine if they'd scored whilst I'm just fumbling with my iPad on the sidelines. It would have been a disaster. Their line of engagement is really, really high here, I've noticed. Which I think is higher than it was in the first half. They have got the ball here as well, which is a tad bit concerning. And Donny van de Beek just sneaks in at the near post. Playing that centre attack in mid-roll. Where was Henderson there? That's my question. I mean, Walker's interception apparently led to the goal. So Henderson's here, and is he just caught ball watching? I mean, there is lots of ball watching. Walker probably should get there. They score. Donny van de Beek with it. And it's not an ideal start to the second half. It's their second shot on target, and it's found the back of the net. Man, they are committing so many men forward here. If we can just beat their initial press, there's going to be opportunities, I'd hope, to get in behind here as Trent just runs straight into the back of Sancho. That's what we want to see there. They're coming down this right-hand side again. Marlon now with the ball to Wijnaldum. He's been playing a deeper role than I expected him to play today at centre-mid. Now with Donny van de Beek again. Memphis with it. Wijnaldum. Gravenberch. And the ball played through to Donny van de Beek, and he scores 2 in really quick succession. I am going to change some stuff up immediately here. So Henderson is set to kind of hold position, but he's just not tracking his man. I can't really play without a defensive mid. You know what? I'm sat here thinking about it. I think I am going to change things up in this game, and I'm going to bring in some fresh legs. Trippier is going to come on. Harry Maguire, I'm going to bring on for Walker, who's not had a good game. We have 5 subs to make here, and I'm also thinking I'm going to go to the 4-3-3. Because to be honest, I've been very, very underwhelmed with what I've seen from our team in this game, and I feel like when we've played this system, it served us fairly well. We'll bring in, you know what, I was going to bring in Bellingham, but I'm not. I'm going to bring in Mount. I'm hoping that Henderson playing on defend here is now going to track. In fact, you know what? Rather than hope, Jack, just tell him to man-mark their centre attacker mid. Let's do that. The fact they've got a 2-goal lead is very, very concerning here, though, of course. And it was the same goal twice here. Donny van de Beek. I mean, you can see here the shape that we've got. It's a very, very compact shape. I was almost a little bit worried about how high the wing-backs were getting forward, wondering if I should change the kind of defensive width a little bit more just to help us out, because there is space in these wide areas. But it's actually a pass that goes straight through the middle here. Just people not picking up their man. It's Kyle Walker again there. So question marks over the Kyle Walker at centre-back pick. I'll hold my hands up and admit it. Might be an error. But I'm being decisive with my changes. There's loads of time left in this game for us to come back. And I feel like we've got some of our best players on the pitch now. As Kane's going to be threaded through. I mean, come on, boys. Come on. Raheem Sterling moved on to the right. He was on the left. Jadon Sancho hauled off the pitch. Maguire and Trippier are on. And Mount's also on the pitch. Right, that is a response. And it's a through ball. It is getting in behind. It's Kane who's actually ended up scoring it. Worth noting. Are they playing to Vrain now? Or... No, they've still got Botman there. Okay, I guess Botman was just caught way out of position then. Yeah, we're going back to the 4-3-3 that we have used throughout this tournament with success. I wanted to try and do something to deal with them directly, but we weren't creating enough, so it's time to go back to something more traditional. Luke Shaw to Rashford. Taking on Dumfries, who I assume has been subbed on at half-time. Mount with it now. Gives it back to Shaw. Options in the middle. Mount has it. Hits it. I mean, that is not the shot that we need right now, is it? That is not the shot that I need at this moment in time. I will be completely honest with you. Right, corner time. And we're going to aim for the man at the near post. We're not going to pick out the man at the near post. I mean, they've got very tall defenders. They don't concede headers. They only concede through balls. That's what I learnt during my studying. I don't think I have short corners set up on this routine. But you know what? We've been great from corners traditionally. So let's go back to what we've been doing previously as, well, we're still looking to create something here. I'm talking over this like this is a pointless highlight. I want to believe something could happen. Henderson and Mount linking up well. Shaw in the wide areas. Takes it past Dumfries. That is superb by Luke Shaw. Now can he get the ball back? He's got no one in support. He gets into the middle. It's bouncing around and it falls to Marcus Rashford. I might buy his book after all. And the fight back is coming on. It's still the wide areas where we're definitely impacting them, but a different kind of wing play approach, I suppose, going into this. Ball whipped in. Very fortuitous bounce. Who was that? Who was that? It was Botman again. The fact they're not playing Van Dijk is just bamboozling to me. But you know what? I'm not their manager. I'm not going to criticise them. The mad thing is, when you now look at the stats for this game, it suddenly looks like we've been by far and away the better team, and you can't quite believe that we're struggling as much as we are. Right, Raheem Sterling is very tired out on the right-hand side. I'm going to bring in Jack Grealish on the right wing, I think, for the remainder of this game. Let's get some fresh legs on. Also, he signed for Manchester United in this save game. Aston Villa fans, look away. Phil Foden is absolutely exhausted at centre mid. So I think with my last change, I'm actually going to bring in Declan Rice, who's been great for us. And then we're going to drop Rice into the ball-winning midfielder role. He's going to be our defensive mid with the energy. Henderson is going to struggle. In fact, a few players are going to be struggling there. It's the end of an international tournament. Declan Rice has been great for us. And I think in terms of, you know, anticipation of them bringing on some fresh-legged players, a player like Rice is just a very useful player to bring onto the pitch. Tomori wins the ball in the air there. That doesn't happen very often, but against their attack, I suppose it should be expected. Rashford, oh my word, I thought he was really going to make me go and buy his book then. Dribbled through the middle, and with 6 minutes left, it's time for someone to step up. I mean, Harry Maguire's won a header there. Ball switched wide to Rashford. He's cutting inside to Kane. Shot blocked. Highlight ends. I was expecting more from that, but it just comes to an abrupt stop. As now the Dutch bring it forward. I actually don't know what the extra time rules are. I assume it's just extra time, then penalties. I guess there's no away goals. This isn't over 2 legs, everyone. And golden goal isn't cool anymore. Rashford, not the ball through that we needed, but Tomori now has it. I mean, considering Tomori got booked at the very start of the game, he's played very well. Rashford cutting inside, going all on his lonesome. Keeper holds on well, though. And it remains 2-2. We've got a corner. Where's Harry Maguire? It's in the script. Do it for me, number 12, Harry Maguire. If this is like wrestling and it's scripted, he's the man who's going to score. It doesn't go to... It's not like wrestling, is it? He's not scored it. Rashford, forward to Mount. Should give it back to Rashford. Does. Rice now with it. Wide to Trippier. So much space in the wide areas here. Oh my word, Mount's shot hits the side netting. I thought it had gone in for just a moment. There's 5 minutes of added time. I've made all the subs I can make. But to be honest, I don't feel like there's much I'd change at this moment in time. We have been the better team. That there is no denying. I'm still going to tell the players I'm not happy. I'm going to motivate them, though. I've pissed off a few of them. That's not the team talk to do at this moment in time. I will say the players who haven't reacted here are players who have been subbed off. The men who have come on, they're loving it too, so it's fine. I'm fine. We're all fine. It's going to be okay. Oh, of course it had to go to extra time here. 2-0 down to 2-2. The experiment didn't work, but what I would say is, from what we've seen since we've changed systems, you can really see how we are able to just create space in the wide areas against their wing-backs, and their team is tiring. That said, they have got their own corner. We talked about their heading ability defensively. They also have it going forward, and well, De Vrij is there at the back post, as is Botman. Cometh the Botman, cometh the hour, or something as they say. A corner scored. Maybe they just don't need Van Dijk. Maybe Botman's better than Van Dijk. So someone should let Koeman know. Or Koeman. No, De Boer know. Got the wrong manager there, everyone. Don't look at me. Look, I've got... Let's move on. Dumfries, oh my word. Oh my word, it's a mad scramble in the area. I think we're okay. That's half-time and extra time. They've had 5 shots and 3 of them have gone in. Am I allowed to just point at this game and say, well, we got unlucky? I mean, maybe with the set-piece goal I can, but in truth, just our inability to pick up Donny van de Beek was kind of our undoing, I feel like, in the kind of first half of the second half, those first few minutes. Be curious to know if they actually changed anything about him there, or if that was just, something waiting to happen. Rashford bringing it forward, and, well, the highlight amounts to nothing. There is very little time left in this game, and I feel like I do at some point have to go more attacking, and that time is probably now. Would it be mad to go to the same system that we played previously against the Spanish? My concern here really being we've not got a lot of time left in this game. Now, you know what? Let's undo everything. Mash the undo button. Right, this is what we started things with. Here's how we're going to change it. Mount, can you play on the wing? Perfect. This is just what we need. Rashford pressing forward on attack. Mount is going to play on the right as a winger. Grealish is going to play on the left as an inverted winger. Shaw's been good today. We've got to go for it, everyone. We've got to try. Focus the play down the left and the right. Let's play as wide as we can. Let's stretch them wide, but be direct. Low crosses into the box. In terms of distribution, I want to get it to the flanks where their wing-backs are. Distribute it quickly. And all that talk I had about, we don't need to press. Let's not press. Now we absolutely do need to press. We've got to get stuck in. Force them wide if we need to. We've got 10 minutes to try and make something happen. I want to shout to man more. Nothing's happening. There's 5 minutes left. Pause the game. I've got 4 minutes to get a goal. Or it all ends in tears. It all ends on a set piece. And no, what I don't want that. You don't want that. I am running out of players to throw forward at this point. That is a minor issue with the current kind of situation, I suppose. Henderson and Rice can't play attacking mid. How many more men can I just throw forward here? Right, you know what? Mount, play down the middle as a shadow striker. And Grealish, you can stay where you are. I mean, there's not much more I can do. I'm leaving us very open at the back, but we have 4 minutes to save our competition. It's Kieran Trippier with a throw into Mason Mount. Back to Trippier. 3 minutes left. We need a goal. I thought Declan Rice was going to provide some heroics. It's now a 2-on-2 at the back. This is my worst nightmare. It's Harry Maguire. It's a cynical foul. That's a great foul as far. If we score now, it's the greatest foul committed in English football history. Unfortunately, there is 2 minutes left to score. There's a free kick, though. Mason Mount whips it. Maguire's there, and he puts it what he could have... If it's wrestling, he scores it. It's not wrestling. He's put it bloody wide. 45 seconds. I thought Harry Maguire was going to do it. I was really starting to believe. I mean, at this point, all the tactical prep has kind of just gone out the window. We're just dragging everything to the right in the tactics and lumping the ball forward. Is there time for something? Jackie Grealish, Henderson, Rashford takes it down, but the keeper collects very, very well. And whilst I do feel like we're a smidge unlucky if we do end up losing this here, we've given it a very, very good go. We have no one, but this is a problem. They will score now. He's going to the corner. Marlon whips in. Bodu's there. Henderson holds on to it. It's going to be the last bit of action of this Euros. And it's not the English national anthem being bellowed out by my national brothers. It's coming home echoing from the stadiums. It is the sound of the Dutch and their cheers. They are European champions and we were losers. You can look at it and say, well, you come second. No, we've lost. We didn't win it. We're losers. You're only a winner if you win. As my grandma used to say, and we have not won this. I just feel a little bit sad. I'm now waiting for the goalkeeper to do his cartwheel. There it is, way. Okay. That's the only bit of joy I'm going to get from these celebrations. Let's just walk down the tunnel early here. I mean, I feel like we did well to get to the final. Wasn't an easy route through both the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. To lose in extra time is pretty gutting. It was a very weird game. I feel like the approach that we had wasn't a terrible one. You know, in the first half, we really did shut them down, but in that second half, they caused us issues early on. We were slow to react. When we did react, you know, we got a couple of goals. The XG story says that we deserve to win, but that doesn't really mean a great deal, sadly, in the grand scheme of things. It was an even game. It was a close game, but no one really kind of stood up and was counted. When you look at the performances, it wasn't particularly great performances by anyone. Even players like Rashford, who scored, only ended up on a 6.7. Just as a reminder, the new Let's Play is going to probably be starting early next week, although there will be videos over this weekend to tide you over. And apologies for the lack of a video yesterday. I've actually really badly hurt my foot at the moment. It's causing me a lot of discomfort. I can't sit at my desk for too long, and as a result, yesterday I was getting injections so I could do a video for you today. The physios, they've sorted me out. Unfortunately, they didn't make me any better at playing Football Manager when they did the treatment that they did. So yes, that's going to be all from me today. If you'd like to see more videos like this one during our actual Let's Plays, I'd love to do them. I enjoy the tactical prep aspect. It's nice to do it. I feel like it's not realistic to do it in every game in any old Let's Play, but certainly for the big matches, I think it could be very, very fun. Additionally, if you've got any feedback regarding this series, please do let me know it down below. Who knows, if you guys really like it, maybe we'll come back and do another job managing a team in the Euros, maybe stagger it over a few weekends or something during the actual competition, for those of you who want to see more of a deep dive into the analytical and tactical side of things. And well, other than that, that is going to be all from me today. Thank you for watching. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed. I'll see you again for more videos over the weekend, a new Let's Play next week. I hope you're ready. I most certainly am. It is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.